What have you thought about Erik Karlsson? Because he's going to be the name to watch on Saturday night.
Oh, he will be. And everyone will continue to speak highly of Erik Karlsson, even if his scoring isn't necessarily, quote unquote, where it should be. He's looked good. He's looked fine. He's looked like Erik Karlsson. It's hard to say anything bad about him yet. Maybe just that, he hasn't scored at the pace we were all expecting. What do you mean at the pace we were all expecting? He's a defenseman. Let's start there. He's playing in a different role with the Penguins. We all knew he wasn't getting 100 points. I think we all kind of agreed at what would we be happy with? 70 to 80? You know what that is? More than Crystal Tang has ever posted in his career. So we'll take 70 to 80, right?
Yeah, I'll take 70 to 80, but he's also on pace for 55.
Thank you for doing the pace. I wasn't sure on that. We're all expecting that to wake up too, though, right?
Yeah.
That's part of the part of the season here. We're all expecting all these guys to sort of kick it up a notch as the season progresses. Like they keep saying, they're going to stick to their game because they are outplaying in certain areas. Moving on from that, though, Erik Karlsson's looked good. He's looked solid offensively for the most part. Defensively, definitely. And if he can continue making plays, making unreal passes, and as long as he doesn't lose his hockey vision, he's going to be a good player for this team. And maybe things wake up in San Jose. Good old tribute video. Good old maybe a smattering of playful boos because that wasn't a great relationship toward the end. But certainly not a bad taste in the mouth for Erik Karlsson and San Jose. It'll be a fun game to watch.
Yeah, he pulled the old Denny Lemieux from Slapshot. Trade me right effing now. And they did. And luckily for the Pittsburgh Penguins, they traded him to the Pens. But when
I don't know if it was right now that they traded him, but
he got to
it eventually.
Yeah, he was one of the players that was saying, hey, I want traded before the season. Actually got traded. I mean, sorry for John Gibson, who stayed with the Ducks and now he's injured. But, at the same time, you look at his performance through the first 9 games, and like you mentioned, the point scoring is down a little bit more. And it's not just the overall points. I think there's something to he really just hasn't gotten on the same wavelength with some of the Penguins forwards to this point. And that's fair because Karlsson is a very, very unique defenseman in the way that he plays the game. He's unique when it comes to being in the offensive zone as well. Some of the passes that he makes are passes that only he can make. And we've seen that at points throughout the season. But I think it goes back to something he said when he was talking about the power play. He said, somebody just needs to take charge. Mm-hmm. Well, Erik, you're the highest paid player on the team. Eventually, you need to just look in the mirror and say, I need to take charge. Now, I understand you're playing with Sidney Crosby, who is the face of a generation. You're playing with Evgeny Malkin, who is one of the greatest Russian-born players in the history of the National Hockey League. You're playing with Chris Letang, who is playing better than he has played in years. I get that, and it's a team game, and I understand that. But he has to understand there's a reason he gets paid the money that he does. There's a reason that everybody made such a big deal when he got traded to the Penguins. It's because he has immense talent, and he needs to be the one to take charge. And I think that that's what I haven't seen this season is him take charge. I've seen him start to become a cog in the operation, which is good. You want to be a team player, that's fine. But let's not act like the operation hasn't been a little flawed under Mike Sullivan here the last couple of years. So get out, be yourself, and take charge of the game. I want to see that a little bit more often from Erik Karlsson.
Yeah, the whole take charge thing, I agree with you that someone does need to do it, and it maybe should be him because of A, the paycheck, and B, the ability that we know he can bring. Mm-hmm. There is an interesting dichotomy, though, when it comes to someone taking charge on the power play specifically, because if you look at the players that are out there, there's Crosby, Malkin. We'll just focus on the 3. Crosby, Malkin, and Karlsson on the top unit. When it comes to taking charge for Sidney Crosby or Evgeny Malkin, or start with Karlsson, sorry. When it comes to Karlsson taking charge, well, he's looking at those two and going, well, they've been here. It's their team. They've kind of designed this power play, with Todd Reardon, sort of designed it. Let them take charge because it is their thing. He might feel like the outsider kind of coming in and doing his helpful job, not taking it over. Whereas Malkin and Crosby might look at Karlsson coming in as, look at this resume, look at what he can do, look at how they are not necessarily canning, but demoting Chris Letang, their former charge leader on that. Look at how they're taking him off of the top unit And those two are now expecting him, Erik Karlsson, to take charge. So everyone's kind of expecting everyone else to take charge. That's sort of what many believe has been going on to start this year with the power play. Everyone's sort of waiting for everyone else to do it. No one wants to step up. Someone needs to be the first one to go, okay, I'll do it. And that's kind of what the wait is. Hey, for what it's worth, you picked up a couple of goals against the Ducks. Then that one happened against, we don't talk about it. Someone eventually will, you think, find the leadership aspect, find the role, because it seems like they might not filter through, but continue to change the Riley Smith position until someone fits. Not Jake Ensel, sorry. Ricard Raquel, Riley Smith, Brian Russ have all gotten time up there.
Yeah.
Throw Redeems the Horn up there if you're going to use him as net front. I mean, there's options, but we'll see where it goes. Someone just needs to take charge, and they have to decide who.
We talked on Tuesday about the net front thing. We don't need to get back into it, about the fact that they really don't have a net front presence because nobody knows how to play in front of the net on this team. But when it comes to, who on the power play is going to take charge, is it you? You guys have been here for a while. Don't say that. If you're Erik Karlsson and that's probably not the reason. I would be 95% sure he's not taking charge of the power play because, well, these guys have been here before. Because if that's the case, then somebody needs to get a sports psychologist in there and make him rewatch all of his highlights and be like, hey, you're a damn good player. Let's not, default to other players simply because they've been here longer. But the general sense of the word there, you mentioned, hey, they're just going to switch who's on that left flank until something works. If the left flank keeps changing and the same issues persist, maybe it's not the left flank that's the reason that this power play isn't succeeding. Maybe it's because the other four guys aren't doing their jobs well enough. And Erik Karlsson, they do all the switching, they do all the rotating on the power play, and that's great. You need puck movement, you need player movement away from the puck, because that's the only way that you're going to confuse penalty kills and the only way that you're going to get them out of their system. I understand that. But at the end of the day, there is a power play quarterback. And the person in that position right now is Erik Karlsson. I don't care who's on the right flank. I don't care who's down low. You are the quarterback of the power play. Act like it. Take charge. And I think he needs to do that 5-on-5 as well. That's why I brought it up in the first place. But especially on the power play, I mean, you scored 101 points last year. Nobody's expecting you to go out there and repeat that. That's the first time that happened in 30 years. But we're expecting you to play like a player that has the capability to do that. We're expecting you to have the moxie, have the confidence that you can go out there and do that. And that is what I haven't seen. Have I seen immense talent in 9 games? Yes. Have I seen ridiculous passes that I haven't seen from any other player since, I don't know, I wasn't old enough to remember watching Paul Coffey with the Pittsburgh Penguins, so probably since Paul Coffey. So you have to be that player. You cannot shy away from it. Now, here's the thing. It's not like his defense is, you keep saying it's better, and I will admit it's better than I expected. It's better than the 1% that's on his J Fresh hockey card in the defense. But he's not going to win a defensive award. There's no defensive defenseman award. There should be. He's not going to win that. But you know what he does have? He has a defenseman that's playing his butt off in Marcus Pettersson. Yeah. We would have talked about what's the most impressive things through October. Marcus Pettersson has been impressive. And making up for Erik Karlsson when he does go up. And that's something that I think you're going to see more from Ryan Graves as he gets comfortable with Chris Letang. But that chemistry between Karlsson and Pettersson was great from game 1. So you have that safety blanket of a really good defensive defenseman. I need to see him take charge. I need to see him, I understand he takes a lot of risks. I need to see him take a little bit more when it comes to getting more opportunistic and scoring more goals, because it's been good, but it should be great. And that's where I'm at.